In case you haven't noticed, there's been a bit of a problem with the stock exchange around the world lately, okay? A bit of a soft global market collapse. Nothing to concern yourself with right now. It could be much ado about nothing, but the video game industry, well, it's getting hit pretty hard across the board, especially in Japan, where they're getting hit with arguably the worst of it right now, but that could change, okay? You know, the United States and North America could easily catch up here in the very, very near future, but talking about Nintendo and other developers embroiled in the Tokyo Stock Exchange fall. Losses for everyone, very much so. Things are looking rough for many tech companies at the moment, with share prices plummeting left and right. Tokyo Stock Exchange is not at all unaffected by the phenomenon, with most of the large Japanese video game companies getting caught up in the general downturn. Capcom shares dropped by 16%, Nintendo by 15%, Sega by 13%, before trading closed for Monday. I think that this was written. According to the industry expert, Dr. Serkan Toto, Korean company Nexon suffered double-digit drops as well, with shares going down 13%. Konami was down 8%, Sony was down 6%, Koei Tecmo was down 6%, and Square Enix down 5%. Tokyo Stock Exchange has been dropping for 3 days in a row, closing with the biggest drop since the '87 market crash, according to Reuters. So yeah, it's not just a games industry thing, it's kind of the entire Japanese market right now, you know, falling through the floor. So Tokyo Game Show at the end of September, that's going to be an interesting exhibition to follow, but we'll see what happens there. Nintendo shares have fallen to their lowest value of this year after the company released a financial report showing a stark yearly decline of sales and lowering operating profits. Not wholly unexpected in the run-up to the release of a new console, but not hopeful when it comes to the current market climate. And yeah, here's the thing, especially with Nintendo, which is going to kind of lead into what's happening with Capcom later in the video. But Nintendo has been releasing a lot of good games, okay? And a lot of their back catalog, especially for the Switch, continues to sell exceptionally well. So this is kind of just speaking to not so much the quality of games, it's just less disposable income around the world. That's kind of what I'm thinking when it comes to this stuff. Besides, Capcom's recent forecast looked all positive, and the company still dropped heavily in the stock market. Yeah, details on the next big title, Monster Hunter Wilds, are expected to be shown off during Gamescom Opening Night Live 2024, which, in the next couple of weeks, I think it's the last week of August, that's when Gamescom is, and I'll be paying attention to that, mostly because I want a PC port of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth so bad. Please announce it there at TGS. Please, Square Enix, do something for the love of God. But no. A lot of people are trying to blame it on my ESG. Oh my God, the Japanese ESG companies are plummeting. Square Enix, don't feel so good, bros. Or they were down 5%, which we already talked about. But here's the thing, man. Square Enix is cleaning up their act. Okay, we heard about their restructuring efforts. What was that, in May or something like that? So they're trying to right the ship. Okay, it's going to be slow going. They're getting rid of their Western endeavors. And when it comes to the rest of the stuff that they're doing, there's a lot of reading into this, which, I got to cut that video that I wanted to do. There's just been so much news lately that all in due time, there's a little bit of a back catalog of topics that I want to cover here in the near future. So I wouldn't necessarily say that, oh my God, woke killed Square Enix. It's just kind of the Japanese market crash is facilitating a downturn. But you take a look at what's also being attributed to Capcom, and I'm out here, I've been talking about Capcom quite a bit more recently. I'm not somebody who has a bunch of Capcom titles, not a lot of reverence for the company itself. I'm still pretty much inclined, I'll probably pick it up by the end of the year, mostly because it's going to be at a good price, probably Devil May Cry 5, because I hear incredible things about it. It's just, why are we attributing bad US decisions to the Japanese developers? That one doesn't really make much sense, because we've looked through the policies, we've looked at what the company heads have said, and it's different than the way that it's getting covered. So to see a drag queen in the offices of Capcom USA back in, I would have to imagine, because you can see the little plastic dividers back there, in 2020, 2021, I don't really know, but Capcom sales down 44%. What are we talking about here? We're talking specifically game sales, and the fact that Capcom and many other Japanese publishers are down by significant margins, 44% in the case of Capcom. And Capcom has released its financial report for the first quarter of the financial year, which ends March 31st, 2025. The report shows that the sales have dropped considerably compared to last year's period. And I find that to be very interesting given the fact that, yeah, they released Dragon's Dogma 2, which, you know, for all of its follies on the monetization front, I thought people generally enjoyed that janky little game. Despite the significant drop in sales, the publisher says all business segments outperformed the company's plan. So yeah, we made more money, we just shipped fewer units. Net sales were down 32.5% this year, with digital content net sales being down 43.5% year on year. Their net income is down 45.1% year on year for a total of $64.7 million. In terms of digital content net sales being down, the company responded by saying that its sales were dominated by titles released in the previous years, such as Street Fighter 6 and Dragon's Dogma 2. The new releases for 2024 due out and released in the second half of the year. Oh, I'm sorry, with their new releases, yes, they due out, but Dragon's Dogma, oh yeah, I guess financial year release, because that was released March? Yeah, in March of 2024, which is last year's financial, whatever. Capcom sold 9.53 million units of its games this year compared to 13.5 million in the same quarter last year. Street Fighter 6 was released during that time, so yeah, you could kind of understand that. Street Fighter, not quite an apples to apples comparison with Dragon's Dogma. It's a little bit different. Although game sales dipped significantly, they were compensated by arcade operations upturns of 18% and amusement equipment skyrocketing by 147%. I beg your pardon, holy. Despite being released in 2021, Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin, continued to sell very well this financial quarter. Capcom saw the game reach 2 million units sold in the quarter. That's fantastic. Okay. Looking into the future, Capcom expects to reach $1.07 billion in net sales for this fiscal year, which gives the company an 8.3% growth year on year. So what do they have for the rest of the year? Okay, upcoming releases, Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. Okay, interesting. Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster slated for October 2024. Monster Hunter Wilds expected to release in 2025. Perhaps in the spring, don't know for sure. Probably learn more about that at either TGS or Gamescom in the upcoming couple of months. And then smaller but not insignificant releases like the Marvel vs. Capcom fighting games collection, which is gonna be huge, even if they don't want to mark it down. But this of course begs the question. Okay, we're talking about all this woke infiltration when it comes to video games. I don't see it when it comes to Capcom. Yeah, we've read the statements that, yeah, oh no, they're paying lip service to DEI, until you listen to what the CEO has to say about that. Yeah, we're going to be hiring based on merit. We haven't made any decisions to the contrary. Oh, they race swapped a character in Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. Did they? Because we've only seen one screenshot, and you guys also thought that it was race swapped Blue Mary and Joe Higashi SNK characters in a Capcom trailer, which I don't even know how to properly make sense of that conundrum. Yes, there's woke infiltration in video games. I talk about Ubisoft on the regular. That's a problem over there. It's definitely a problem when it comes to Western developers, because we're at no shortage of examples when it comes to that. But you don't want to be the boy who cried wolf. You don't want to be somebody diluting the power of that description when it does not apply. Capcom sales are down. Yeah, for justifiable reasons. They don't have another Street Fighter that's out there. Yeah, okay, totally makes sense. To try to paint them with the same brush that you would when it comes to Ubisoft, it's foolish. It's foolish to lump all of those companies into one basket. Applaud the companies that you think are doing good. And I would say when it comes to releasing the games that people want to play, Capcom, yeah, they're kind of doing that. Square Enix, when it comes to restructuring, focusing in on the games that gamers want to play, I applaud them for that. When they do things that are stupid, when they engage in idiotic business practices, deride them for that. Because unlike Hollywood, which is eventually just going to have to burn down and resurrect from the ashes, there is a way that we reshape the gaming industry and fix it before a total collapse. When we save the Western gaming industry, well, that's a totally different beast. But when it comes to the East, they seem to be doing it right. Korea, Japan, hell, even China's doing it better than all of those blue-haired Portland weirdos. So yeah, is Capcom totally blameless? No, they have some very ugly monetization practices, but are they woke, and is that to blame for their downturn? No. We'll check back in at the end of the year to see how well their sales have done and if they've hit targets. And we'll see how many changes that they made to appease the modern audience when it comes to Dead Rising Deluxe Remake. I'm a little skeptical because I haven't really seen much stuff to give me a legitimate pause for cause, but if it's there, we'll talk about it and be willing to admit when I'm wrong. Kind of like how I see that laying on a Capcom rug, and I know that that is 1000% wrong. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.